About the three main ways that you can get your US e-commerce brand into the UK. This is going to be a pretty cool video. Let's get into it. In this video, we're going to talk about the three main ways of getting your brand into the UK via a distributor, via Amazon, or direct to consumer as a transatlantic brand. We're going to cover the advantages, we're going to cover the disadvantages, and who should go for what and why. So this is going to be pretty cool. Okay, so let's talk about distributors. Very simply put, these guys are here to sell. They're here to make money. And they want to box ship as much of your product as possible, which makes it actually quite an interesting idea. These are generally the first port of call when anybody wants to enter a new market anyway, is to go to a distributor and say, hey, here's my product. What do you think? Can you get it into either stores, or can you just basically sell my product? So some of these, what they'll do is they'll buy your product up front, they'll buy it and then they'll sell it at, at an increased cost, or they'll just sell your product and take a cut. Generally, there's less upfront costs, so you are saving upfront. LUC, less upfront cost. However, they do control a lot of the margins. They're not necessarily loyal to your brand. They will sometimes sell your competitors' products as well in catalogs of products that they have. So that's something to bear in mind. They're not loyal to your brand, but they're there to sell. They're not bothered about repeat customers either, generally. They're there to sell, pure and simple. Going through distributor, in some cases, they can compete with, if you've got multiple distributors in a specific area, they will compete on price because it's the same product. So therefore, cutting into margins, cutting into your profits. But also, like going back to the fact that they're not loyal to your brand, you don't have control over this sales channel. Actually, you have no control. And this can be problematic if you're looking to sell the brand in the future. So now that we've talked about distributors, let's talk about Amazon. Amazon is super interesting. The reason Amazon is an interesting option is because it's so easy to do business. Easy to do business, knows Amazon. Amazon already has a market. People who know Amazon, they rely on it for customer service. With Prime, you get next day delivery in the UK. There is a loyal base towards Amazon. However, when someone is buying your product off Amazon, they're doing business with Amazon, not necessarily you. They're going to Amazon, they're typing in whatever product they're looking for, and they're finding yours, and then they're buying it through them. When a consumer or a customer buys a product through Amazon, or your product through Amazon, they're doing business through Amazon, not you. So obviously they have a client base, but that is Amazon's, not yours. And they will punish you if you take a client off their platform and try and sell them directly. So what this does is this actually harms your client lifetime value, because that client is then going to go back to Amazon if they want to buy, if you're selling a supplement, for example, or if you're selling something that has a recurring purchase, they're going to go back to Amazon because they know it's easy to do business, and then they're going to buy directly through there. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but those profits, those extra profits go to Amazon, not you. One thing I do like about Amazon is the fact that they highlight other products, similar to yours or to whoever's. It means that they're also highlighting your product to competitors and your competitors to yours. So it makes it a bit more of an open market platform. The ease of doing business in the UK through Amazon, you're not setting up an LTD, you don't have to do any of the formal stuff or the legal stuff. That ease of doing business comes at a cost. It is expensive to go through there. Sometimes it can eat away at your margins up to 35%. So in short, to summarize, ease of doing business, It is Amazon's client base that you're dealing with. It's kind of a reduced LTV because of the fact that you're dealing with their client base. They can highlight your competitors' products with yours, so it increases competition. And also it comes at a cost. It's not cheap. But also you don't need to think about, the logistical problem. They have the infrastructure set up in place, but again, it comes at a cost. So we've covered Amazon. Next one is going direct to consumer as a transatlantic brand. Now, with this, there are potentially higher upfront costs, HUC. However, you are recuperating that pretty much straight away because you're getting direct sales. The money is coming directly to you. There's no one taking a cut. How good your in-house marketing is. As soon as a client is yours, if you're retargeting them with ads, you've got fantastic, email sequences. You can keep a client in your ecosystem for a very, very long time. Email marketing is, if you're not generating 30% of your ecom revenue through email, then you're missing out on a huge amount. So there is higher LTV. So you get higher LTV and you remain in control of your sales channel. This is your sales channel. You've got full control. And this is what we mean by having a foothold in the US and in the UK. You have full control of your sales channel. You control the prices, you control your profits, you control everything. And what that means is it gives you higher bargaining power when it comes to dealing with retailers in the future. Let's suppose that you're selling direct to consumer now and you'd like to go to Boots, you go to like Superdrug, you'd like to go to some of the main street retailers who they demand a proof of concept in the UK and an audience. You have that directly. You have that straight away. So higher bargaining power with retailers. And I've seen this happen before. A lot of e-commerce business owners want to have an exit at some point. They want to sell the business. May not be your case. You may want to keep it. But some business owners, they do want to sell this. And if you have an established brand, not necessarily just distributor agreements, but if you've got an established brand, an audience, a loyal customer base that's buying through your brand directly in the UK as well as in the US, this dramatically increases your exit value. Your exit value is so much higher. And therefore you can demand more. So in short, you may have higher upfront costs because you're doing most things yourself. You're going directly to consumers, so you're getting direct sales. You have a higher lifetime value because of your own marketing and your own ecosystem. That means you give full control of the brand. You have higher negotiating power when it comes to retailers, and it increases your exit value should you want to sell the business. Channel. It's ease of doing business. There are less upfront costs. However, they are in charge of margins. They're in charge of the sales value in the market. They're not necessarily loyal to your brand. If there are other distributors, they can compete on price. And you're not in control of the brand when it comes to your sales channel. FBA, Amazon FBA, ease of doing business. You don't have to think about setting up a sales channel. You don't have to think about setting up logistics. You have a direct audience there already. Competition is very intense. You're dealing with Amazon's audience. You have a reduced lifetime value because they incentivize people buying through their platform. And all of this comes at a cost as well. From one day to another, they can also turn off your account as well. I've had clients where they've turned off they've shut down listings and they don't really tell you why. Control of the sales channel again. Going directly to consumer as a transatlantic brand, there are potentially higher upfront costs. However, you are getting direct sales direct to consumer. You're dramatically boosting the client lifetime value through your own marketing and ecosystem. You maintain full control of the sales channel, and you have a much higher exit value should you decide to sell the business. So they're the three main channels to get into the UK market. Which of these three channels is the best for you? Well, of course, it depends on the products that you're selling and on your brand. Okay, so if you've got alcohol, you're probably best going through a distributor. They have, alcohol is obviously, there's a whole load of regulatory red tape around it, but distributors know the game. They'll probably be the best for that. Also, single use products where the lifetime value, there's no recurring purchase on the back end. That's probably, you're probably better going through Amazon FBA, or you're probably better going through distributors because, well, it's probably just the ease of doing business, the less upfront costs. You're not necessarily bothered of retaining clients on the back end. However, if you're selling a physical product, you could be selling supplements, you could be selling clothes, gadgets, and belts, and there's a branding behind it. There may be a recurring chance of the client coming back and buying other products from you as well, cross-selling. Then building a brand direct to consumer is so much better because you're growing your brand, you're growing your foothold, and you're not reliant on other distribution channels to sell your product. You are building an audience in the UK. You're benefiting from the UK tax system to grow the business, and it's so much better long term. It's also a lot more cost effective long term as well, with the way that the UK tax system is set up and the savings that you're making by not giving margin to distributors and also Amazon as well. If you're potentially interested in getting your US ecom brand into the UK, you want to become a transatlantic brand, you want to protect your growth and grow the business long term, then we have a 3-pillar methodology to get your brand into the UK. So first off is entity creation. We create a limited company on your behalf. We set you up so that you are compliant with UK taxation, but that you're also able to benefit from the environment, the growth environment that the UK system offers. Next is sales and marketing. We market your product to a UK audience using creatives that you potentially have in-house. If you've not got them, we'll look at creating them ourselves. And marketing your brand to a UK audience that is basically, we translate the enthusiasm of your brand to UK consumers. And the last part is 3PL distribution. So you're set up, you're legally compliant to go. You have got a market that's interested in buying your product, they're placing orders. Then all you need to do is ship your bulk products into one of our partners' warehouses, and we'll get your product shipped out to consumers directly on your behalf. We'll manage returns if needed. We'll manage we manage the storage. We'll manage all the distribution, next day delivery, all that good stuff. So if you're interested, click on the link in the description in the video and have a chat with me, and we'll see if we can help you.